Kia ora, namaste, nisambula vinaka. Welcome again to our segment this afternoon on Apna Television. Nimbula ni mata vinaka mai na veka ni sa semarati kumai. Ina yakavi ilangi indai. Na yadango Malcolm Andrews mevaka ni nda save mbula ngoti ndomo na madao sauti katali. Kamaro tekni sulit lendo na ngauna. Mendang hole mai veitala noa. And stisi ni langilingongo na Apna Television. Warmest of the Pacifica greetings to you all the viewers that are viewing this particular segment this evening. It is a blessing that we were given an opportunity last week to come and talk about the current affairs of the things that's happening around us, but also be given an opportunity to connect with our Fijian communities, our Fijian viewers out there. Therefore, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude and thank and an appreciation to Apna Television for allowing us to come back on a weekly basis now, every Thursday afternoon, to share news and current affairs that are currently happening in our communities. Nimbula ni matabinak may na kani. We kemni kena na lubibiti. Kung isa wakay tukitiko na hunongo out there on Islandi, kabakatal nga kina, maindela niyavu may viti. Nimbula na tal nga we kemni na kani. Ni siyamaratik man na ba yasay bura kede. Nimbula ni mata binak may. Wakatilo sa katiko, en mati ni tuwe tolo en nanda hunua I kumbuna vono vuni walu na tuwe kamba. Burang basanga vono ngon maramambali na roktun riketi na vuni walu kena mati ni tu. Ganga bewe kani na tovata kena mbuni masyawa. Ni mbulu vinaka na bewe kani. Ena esana tin kapa en nanda hunua kemni na vei turangambali. Na vei marambali ke kemni na lalai. Ni sa semarati kumai ena yakavi langi. Indai. To all the non-speaking Fijian viewers, like I said, greetings to you all. Today we'll be covering things that are happening around us, in particular COVID-19. As I said last week, most of us may be tired of hearing everything on the news, even from friends on social media about COVID-19. So I won't necessarily repeat everything that's already been said, but rather pick up a few things that we could dissect together as Fijian communities living here in Aotearoa, as well as viewers from around the world. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I will be updating us on a few messages that I've seen of the media of the recovery phase after the destruction caused by Tropical Cyclone Harold in the Pacific. And also we'll dive into education, the processes of education here in New Zealand with the updates, as well as other things like sports and in particular. So these are the things that we will be covering in this particular segment. Kami na kanini sa warong tingman na kanin kuha na sigani kuha esa may kaya baka kina na maraming Prime Minister ni Honuongo Aotearoa ni Islandi o Jacinda Ardern ni sa tin kalimatali na kisivovo ni COVID-19 sa coronavirus. Katin karua era si tiko wala nga ibalimbula ka sa vero totoka ni video na raw video sa ngabulo na wakanda era sa mbula may namatengo yun daw na wali na kalo ni solitigo ng mbula solitigo na loma kanda vaka video na takira telengan na wakanda andaw ni vengaravi ena nonda wali ni mbula kira no wakanda era andaw ni vengaravi tiko ena vei vaka nuitaki ena ngauna vinakong. Ladies and gentlemen, just an update from the Prime Minister of New Zealand at 1 p.m. today that there were in the last 24 hours there were 15 new cases of COVID-19, 12 are still hospitalized, and 770 that have recovered. So I thought of diving into some of the statistics globally. So from what I found, currently at this day and time, there are 1,978,763 total cases of COVID-19 globally. There are 476,900 people that have recovered from this disease or sickness, COVID-19, and 126,525 deaths. Now, having said that, as I said in my native tongue, Fijian, it is time for us to, pause and thank all the essential workers that continue to fight the good fight by serving our people in hospitals. We would like to reiterate this message for all essential workers out there, whether you're working in the supermarkets, whether you're working in service stations, in hospitals, in healthcare providers, in the community, even working from home. On behalf of all the viewers out there and this particular station, Apna Television, we would like to say thank you. We really appreciate all the work that you've done and continue to do for our people. Kimina biya kani ni sa semaratu mina kamina ni kuwa katale kamarota kininda vala bina tiko vala tiko ena bunungo atero ni Islandi kanda rei de lesu tiko ena rei choelelo kabakata na kina nei vola mata na vi tuku mbuta kata esa ya do tiko maindela miahu mai viti na matayongo and tiko ngango ena COVID-19 se coronavirus na matini tu o viti sa vakanda bortu e vida nei tu membalete na kena voluti na matin deongo ni coronavirus yo na rede tiko ena singa na noa kana singa talanga ni ko sandona kana non rato lomo bimbi tiko ka rato singa tiko ni marota ka bakalew na matin tu ni vunga weekend ni lew ni vunua enda se voroka tiko nga na veilawa esa mbiutu mai sombeka na taronga esa ni lawa na ka orto mbita mai na ve curfew sa mbiutu mai verna tamata mermuria esa ni lawa ni vunua iyo levu na kena veitala noa na levu talambenga na kena bimba yo kabimbi tiko emenda na taka bata menda na voluta kina na matende wango eviti me urida madanga kimni na viakani mai viti sakai to na turang prime minister vorenge mbain marama mena yang na sar mesana ya dawa kina na doan raw 5 na undolo enang kai rawan beka mela viti na vakata tambongo. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said that it is important for us to look into the Pacific, in particular Fiji, with this whole journey of COVID-19 and coronavirus. In Fiji alone, there are certain laws and curfews, you call it whatever you feel like it, but some people saying that it's not a law, therefore it cannot be broken. Some people say there are curfew that needs to be followed. The government of Fiji, all over the news, yesterday as well as today, is particularly unhappy about people breaking certain laws and curfew hours. The government has said that in the last, since they've laid down the curfew hours, there are over 1,000 people that have broken these things. In the last 24 hours alone, there were around 110 people that were arrested and 88 are in custody. And 14 of those are in juvenile. So it is important for us to reiterate these messages. E kambimbi vikimni na vio kani wakambimbi na vei mata vuvale andua na kena vuna uditiko na itukutuku mena tauto wata kena vei tukutuku sa mpite tiku mena matin ito na kena valuti na matin deongo na COVID-19. Kimni na vio kani vungu na ngau na vei kenda na kawitoki e nanda uvaka wele tagatu na vei ka membaleta na tambana nimbula. Eu tigo na tigo na signi ko me umbolei kemni tikena na fiu kani ni kambimbi na veka kene me bakausa dabuto na manda saute na dabuto tal etikivu mai Jerusalemi ke kai vina da tiko na nonda Jerusalemi na vevo no kede enda tau ya vumaikina ena bimbi na vei vosa na vei lawa mena muri mbalet ke kai ni singvina da tiko na Jerusalemi o wakambauta ena tava ya tu na tamata enda na vila ko bitunga enda na voro la tunga kana to tolo sar tumba kana kena ndewa na matindengo ni COVID-19 ore to toko vali la ena recho ele alo tanga kimi na biwa kani na vakasama ni vesoli Ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of all this chaos, we are still experiencing, and it's so good to witness indigenous ways coming in, indigenous process and protocols set in place for our people to adhere to and follow. One thing in particular I saw is the barter system happening at the border in Sawani. I saw that villagers from the interior of Naita Siri bringing crops, bringing vegetables, bringing things that the food in particular from the land and to the people in Suva, where there is a barter system. People in Suva are providing essential stuffs like flour, sugar, rice, and canned foods. So there is a barter system in place, and this is something that we could always do, something that we as Fijians are known for. Kemina biyo kani na mbimbi ni nonda vi sulsulingo e kotali vata mai na yalo vata, na yalo nindo vata, na yalo ni dhaka vata. E kambimbi talanga funga ngauna menda koso ti me bakausa kai to no mada sawo ti na kai te menda koso ti ninda ndau bakra ravi ena ve lenga enda lakodromatiko au sanga ni kani rawa na ve kanda lakodromatiko indina ni mbimbi katito mbo na ve ka enda lakodromatiko na ngauna go yo mbimbi talanga weekend mendo reda na ve ka vina ka ena rani kota mekina funga weekend na biwakani nisa wala tiko mai ena nongo katoni melis ena Facebook page ena ivola mata ni tukuna tiko mai na ve ka eksabuli de tiko na nube muni ena no muni ve vale so we kemni sa tukuna tiko mai na klasi ni kena tatau na ki verna ni tumbu ko rana ngasa vake era wakabuli de tiko na ngone na kena mbimbi ni vunua au lako maikina na nongo kau na nongo manumanu na nongo yavusa na nongo matangali na nongo itutu vaka vanua mungo bikenda na piokani enda satu ende tu mandanga mendele ne buka satu taltunga ena vivu notani enda sandu ya waki kenda mai na veka enonda na veka enda taukena na kawitoke iona kala kodrum tu me bakana COVID-19 bimbi menando ve pastek menando ve vakavulidi ena veka enonda kanda ndo kilaiteni kina na kawiteke yunda tiko nga ena ve wakavulidi kimini biokani in New Zealand in particular with the education. We've heard from the Prime Minister of New Zealand that potentially she'll make an announcement next week on Monday if our alert level might potentially drop to level 3, but that needs to be confirmed. Now the question is, what does level 3 mean for each and every one of us? Level 3 does not mean that you can go and hang out and drink grog with your friends and start that social gathering again. Level 3 does not mean that you can go back to your cafe, go back and have a few beverages or alcohol in the bars. It does not mean that you can hug and kiss one another. Remember, level 3, if given the opportunity for us to drop the alert level, we still have to adhere to the protocols of keeping our distance, which is social distancing. It is important for us to still look after our elders, because the potentials are the disease can still spread and there can still be a potential outbreak. So it's important for us to clarify things before we dive into this alert level 3. Now, having said that, most of us, are tired of being locked down in our own spaces. Yes, we understand that. But level 3 doesn't necessarily mean for you to go back to your old habits and forget about all the protocols that have been laid by our Ministry of Health. Kemina vyo kani me bakausa tukono titiko ena solimbeka nangalala emenda nangewara nangai tukuna ngauna ke bakaina fakulu tukima ena vaka tangene ngende va kinatolu na mbula ni ve maliwai kana mbula ni vela kai ena ve malumo weli lai na ve vakaro sa solitu komanda yo siani tukuni menda na siova sarava kalevu se menda vaka teki kenda na kena na ve maliwai vaka kina na sumi angona kena ve ka kere enda sala kodro ba moto ninda sakla vina katiko au via vagungeti kemni tunga e kambimbi menda na ve tango taka na ve ka enda la kodro with alert level 3 still. In terms of education, the Prime Minister of New Zealand has said today that there will be a slight flexibility with our ECE for early childhood education, and the schools will probably open up partially for year 0 to year 10 in particular. So that's what I could gather today from the Prime Minister of New Zealand. But having said that, the priority still remains: keep your family safe at all times. And let me reiterate that message again: keep your family safe at all times. Now, there is a petition that's currently going on now on social media. Some of you might have seen it. Some of you, well, eventually you will see this petition, and it's saying that it's important to keep our kids and our teachers safe at home. Most of our students have started school this week. So most of them are settling in with their online learning with their teachers. So it is important for us to keep them safe as we possibly can. Kim na ver kani enetiko na vuli kami mital nga mendandong dikeva na verika era vuli vitiko na lumenda na vuli merkani sa online tiko na ngonongo itiko so na ka enda na rawani mendaganga rawni kina na itumbu na veka era na vuli da kana veka talanga era na sarabatiko na lumenda kambimbi na ngona era na vuli tiko kina menda na wano no virtiko vakamatua baltetiko evida na yalo era sangani ndono mera rede ke bakala lele mena embaki tin kawalu mbimbi mera koni saraba evida na ka etu ena mona livuli bakana rauni bakatana non rabaka sama kana bakabuna talanga mevuru ke sona lawa enda satu wana katu ena nonda loma saka nivu vale. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us with this education that we are having within our homes, not only here in Aotearoa but as well as in Fiji. This will be the new norm for us all. And whilst our students, our children are learning online, it is important for us to keep an eye always on the things they are viewing online, because there are few sites that may be destructive for their mental development. There are few sites that they may access that is against your beliefs, or maybe against the laws that you've set within your families. So it is important for us to keep an eye always on our kids. And in saying that also, it is important for us to keep our holistic well-being fit at all times, not just physically fit but mentally fit, spiritually fit, socially fit. Obviously we're still respecting the laws and the protocols of social distancing. It doesn't matter that we're supposed to distance ourselves from our friends. Continue to contact them online via Zoom, via Messenger, via phone calls, and right now in particular on television. So it is important for us to maintain and follow these processes and in these protocols. Now jumping into Tropical Cyclone Harold in the Pacific in the last week, we can see that the government of France yesterday arrived at Nandi International Airport with supplies for our Fijian people, as well as the French countries in the Pacific like New Caledonia, as well as Tahiti and Noumea in particular. So people are reaching out to families that's out there. We've seen photos on social media of homes and houses destroyed, villages in the southern part of Fiji, which is Kambavu. Villages were destroyed, and our prayers continue to go out to all these families. And I encourage all the viewers in this particular segment to continue to pray for our people back home. Kami na viwa kani, and the sarere tiko na reicho yale na vika esa lako dhurumikende tiko na vivi sa uninraki. Ay kambimbi menando vina numitiko na vi masulaki. And the sarere na matin tovarense sa kele aniviti. Wasia evida na ka etuvera vikenda na kawita ke kapakaki na kina ve yanu ave matin tungali bakavaranise. Leva kata ki New Caledonia kat wakatalanga kina ko Tahiti. Yo kami mi kimna na via kani medan daw ve rerede na matinto ni Islandi ki Australia sa vakautiera na wekana kina hunua lenga tiko kangandra bitu kina nebebu ke mera ve vuke kina. Yo bekenda na tiko ya mai kami mi menda na usema tiko nga ena ve masulaki ena ve ngone ke. There are families in this particular settlement. They got hit by the tornado in Vusuya and Nausori. I saw it on the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation social media page that there are people whom they call the Good Samaritans that are there to help them out. So like we've said last week on Apna Television, we will continue to reiterate that. Let's continue to be kind to one another. Share when you can, love when you can, because the more you give, ladies and gentlemen, the more you shall and you will receive. And we as believers, we believe that our spirituality is something that is that will always get us grounded in every situation, no matter how tough they may be. So let's continue on the prayers and keeping everyone else in our thoughts. Now going back to some of the news that I managed to read earlier today, I saw a worker from the Rosie Holiday, I believe this is in the western part of Fiji, so an employee who has obviously lost her job due to COVID-19 are now going back to the natural resources. So she was talking about going back into the river and getting mussels, going back into the bush and getting wild yams like tivoli, and in particular those are the things that we can do when we have the resources around us. So we can kanini sa semret kumiviti kambimbi nanguna sanga ya mikin na COVID-19 o wasi tukani na Rachel ni pamana viti sa kwena kena bimbi menda lesu tale kinangele menda lesu tale kina waitui already to Congo and norto volamata na FBC may viti nerto to kuna toka na wekandango wakati ngomino no nakataka membaleta na maitungo na COVID-19 angay leso ko kina wai na wain rano milito miki may kina nakai angole ibi kau ale ko may nativoli ko may nakakanan raw merautik kinambula merautik ka maraw merautik kina ninda holuteti ko na mate ndewango vikimni nating may ano baka mimi vikimni na wekangu melevuka kambimbi ndina ni sa songoti kon bononi vakau yaya may viti levu kina yano na like kambimbi menando lesu tale kina veka wabulit kenda yongo na veka itukutuko hambuto enda sa kavitiko yukatali kamarutaki ni bikime mnetiko ni wango ivuno watani kime mireda ni murivi na katiko na veka enda ndo kleten kina kondo tukuni tukina okay na kaiviti na ndre saramenda lenga mbalete ni tiko na veka rawa nina vukei kenda enangona ni ndre kimna biya kanini sa siya mataltunga mana tikini ngaunango evacuation centers around Fiji are still active. So there are currently 1,000 at this point in time. There are 1,585 of our family are still in evacuation centers. In the three centers, the 76 centers that are currently standing in the central, the eastern, and the western divisions. So if you are living in these neighboring communities or villages, please do reach out to our families there. You never know. It is their turn today. It might be ours tomorrow. But when you can, if you can, please do reach out to them as well. Kimena bekani ekambimbi kamarote bakalevu nango kenda vital no tikine ngongo evuruma esona bakasama ni vital no. O sura tikimniti como ni sema mai kepkani sis ni sema tiku mai ena Rachel ni sema mai ena ivola mata ena ngona ena wasi ni kina na yala longo menda soli bakasama mai sia bambeka na veka enda rauni da kababata menda toko na kina voluti na venrenre enda lako dhurumatiko bekimni na viokani me bakausa tukune kambimbi menda ndau ngarona nondombula bakayango nondombula bakayalo nondombula ni vakasama kena nondombula ni ve maliwa yo reditiko bidan na imbole se bakat ko itona po sa babalang na challenge engole tikongo en ivola mata me bakan 25 push up challenge o redito tiko na my St. John's Theological College orto na turangan bete sa kuko sa reto ko orto press up be tamango fa cheke di fa penny vakatelanga kena be fa leseni sa kuko sa reto orto press up push-ups kuko sa reto no taman reto bimbi me ndeiti ko na ituwaki ni angonda na nondo masu nondo lutu me bakandinda sangai maruta ko tingango na mathaw ni sinimate ongo indo na mathaw bimbi weekend enda vona numalesu me bakauka to ko na mathaw sawo to na kaitane na may mate na ngoni turango Chisu Kristo me ren boko dikina na nonda I vala da e kongo ni tukutuku nde tukutuku ni vakambauta tukutuku ni tiko endoana vunovo menda na vakata kikende kina menda na yadova yo me bakana ivakaro leusa solito kumai e sulia na ngore turango Chisu Kristo weekend molo mana na kalo kena lo mamu to ko kamolo mana na wekamu me bakasar nga ko lang maniko yung gona itukutungo anarani metali watamai ken vi tukutuko sa wasia uti tau manda tika ni vikemni menda nandau vere reali menda nandau velo mani talenga o vavilo na tikimni tal tunga nandau ni takataka en ve takataka ni taki me bakausa tabuto uti au no tabuta tale vi naka wakalevu na nomni deitiko vi naka wakalevu na nomni wosota tiko nan renga vi naka wakalevu na nomni mbite tiko mai na wikamuni na nomni vuvale moronyo ni ngole mai moni mi vingara vitiko kangara vieratiko na wekamuni sakale buna vaka vinaka sakale buna ne mamintoka na vida kataka koni takavitiko. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, and I will continue to reiterate these messages after everything that I've said and have spoken, with all the minor updates that I've shared with you today. It is important for us to go back to the values, and I've just shared in my native tongue that we've just completed the Easter, the long weekend, and Easter is about hope and is about love. Let us continue to share that hope and love to one another. Continue to reach out to families if you can, and if the potentials come for us to drop our alert level, it is important, and please let me remind you again, it is important for us to respect and honor protocols still. Now, having said that, there will be a segment that will be introduced by APNA Television, and my good friend Richard will be running this segment, and I am encouraging you, to all the viewers out there, to do a particular video, short video clips, and send it to our television program on this particular email, tv36@apnatv.co.nz. Please let me remind you of the email address again, tv36@apnatv.co.nz, and the videos are as for you sharing positive messages to your friends or your family. 3-minute segment, and then we'll put all these different videos from across New Zealand and across the world together, and we'll show it with you. We'll continue that sharing positive messages with all the families and with all your loved ones out there. Now, having said that, sometimes they always say a picture speaks a million or 1,000 words, and the same goes with our videos. It is important for us to join in this particular video, because you never know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Now, having said that, we can interview kani sulit kami tiko muni sema mai muni vakoto mai vida na clip lalai mi tolu na miniti se tolu sana bulu mandanga na sekoni membaleta soni tuku oni vina kata me wase vera na wekamuni se vera na nomuni tumbu membaleta soni tuku nimbula tuku ni vei vaka yau nganga taki ena ngauna saranga ongo kemni na veo kani me baka usatu na tiko ono tuku na tale e kambimbi menda do vi vaka yau nganga taki menda do vi toko ni taka na vika enda lako durumtiko yo meranga ni udava o ve vambule toko vi kemni kemdo mbambimbi vi kemdo mai Hornby mai Christchurch vi momo chale moala ve ndau vengo o Don Lupe baka tala kina ve tavale edi ki kemdo no dorbo ndo tiko me vale vaka mbimbi ve to kango Kalito Andrews vinaka vakalevu na numni sema tikumai ena ekavi lang ni kwa kikemdo keda na view kani isa sema la tikumai na kangu mai viti wakatalanga kena na bunongo Island kena bia sebulbura nimbula vinaka nuita kini na maruru itu nambula tango makiti ko kamenda vakalo itu mundanga vichu apa ni seru kalo vinaka ena ngongo katau mundu yumeda mundanga mendanga vimbulungo nom telekina ena madao mengo ena ngoli tunga na vitukutuku ni viva kalunganga takina vitukutuku wabu kitikanda tiko yomuninge wasiana video ngo merauni nda vitano takina sona ulutanga onyibi na katambuni ronga mena vakaro take ni vekem ni na virakani ena nonda station ngo na APNA Television ena kavina ni kwa mbaleta sona ngona na itukutuku kitu wasi tukani ngo wasi tiko nga me mbaleta na beka enda lakoro tiko se vakatuka na current affairs bimbi weekend mendo soli bakasama masi tuku da boni beronga merani kitu da kavana neto wandindike mele usekina na ve kasaranga oni beronga ena loma ni nomuni ve vale. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to share this video on Facebook as well, on APNA Television. Please do join, like, and share the page. And also we encourage you to share the video with your family members and all the Fijian viewers out there. Also feel free to give in topics, give in ideas so that we can do our research and talk about some topics that you the viewers require for us to share. Remember, this particular program is ours. It's not just for Apna Television. Apna Television have provided a platform for us to share what we want to hear in the comfort of our homes. Now, having said that, wishing you well, may God be with you always now and until we talk again next Thursday. We say Vinaka Vakalevu Namaste and Nisamode.